Hello, my name's Trevor, and almost every year since 2002, I've made a Halloween costume from cardboard. It started with a Rubik's Cube, then went to a Listerine bottle, an iPod, a pack of Tic Tacs, Canada Post mailbox, and on and on and on and on. So it's become a bit of a tradition between my friends and my family to guess what I'm going to be for Halloween each year. And each Halloween, I get suggestions of what I should be. But there are rules. There are rules to deciding what to be for Halloween. And over the past 15 years, I've come up with seven rules which help me decide what to be each year for Halloween. Rule number one, recognizable. Most of the costumes that I do are products that people know. They're obvious, they're distinct, and people know right away what they are. I know I've done my job right if on Halloween night I can hear somebody from across the street laugh or just shout the name of the product at me. Recognizability works to entertain from a distance. Rule number two, ratio. There's a couple elements going on here. First, from the object you've chosen, you have to make sure that if you made this thing larger, you could actually fit a human body inside of it. There's a couple of costumes I wish I could do, like a floppy disk, but I can't. It's too thin. There's no reasonable way that you could fit a human inside of here. And second, ratios are important to the illusion. If you don't get the ratios exactly right, you kill that illusion. Whereas with the first rule, you get to entertain people from a distance. When people get close up and they notice the details and how close it is to the actual object, you get an added layer of entertainment. Rule number three, hands. Ideally, the object you choose should be able to fit in your hand. I know that I've broken this rule a couple of times, but it's something I've been doing more and more over the years. One reason for it is recognizability. If it's an object you can hold in your hand, there's a good chance other people have done that too and are also familiar with that object. Also, it's about details. When you take an object you can hold in your hand and is small and you make it 10 times as large, you start to notice details that you didn't know were there before. For example, it wasn't until 2013 that I learned that my cheese grater had 433 holes on it. But you learn these things when you make a costume. Rule number four, not newsworthy. Sometimes I'll get a suggestion to be something that's in the news in that period of time. It might be a popular product like an iPhone, or it might be something conceptual like a voting booth during an election. This year I got told to be a fidget spinner. Not sure how I would do that one. Or I should be a pack of paper towels that Donald Trump throws at Puerto Ricans. There's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't do that costume. To me, this is riding the crest of popularity. And maybe it's the contrarian in me, but I feel if something is popular, other people are bound to do it too. And I have to be something different for Halloween night. Rule number five, nostalgia. This is a bit of a tricky one, and it's about finding a cultural sweet spot. We want to do something that is not overly popular, but is still recognizable and ideally has a bit of nostalgia to it. The best case scenario is finding something that you saw a lot as a kid and the product still exists, but now that you've grown up, you just don't see it as much as you used to. Crayola crayons would be a good one. VHS tape is another good one. And a juice box. You don't see that as much now that you're an adult. This might be pushing it a bit, but ideally, I want somebody to see the Halloween costume and have a mini childhood flashback. Rule number six, it's been done. This is related to the last two rules, but it's slightly different. I think there'd be a lot of costumes that would be fun to do, like a Game Boy. And a Game Boy would satisfy a lot of the rules I've mentioned, like nostalgia and size and recognizability, but a lot of people have done this type of costume before. And there's something inside of me that feels like it's expected, as if there's gonna be somebody else in the same city on the same night doing the same costume. And that's something that we want to avoid. Rule number seven, uncomfortable. There shall be no comfort. This felt like a real issue when I first started building these as a teenager, but I've realized over the years that them being awkward to walk in and uncomfortable is actually a strength. For some reason, whether it's genuine humor or pity, people laugh when they see me waddling outside on Halloween night. The moment I love the most is when I'm at an intersection and the light turns green and I start crossing the street and everybody sees me struggle to cross. And some people will laugh, or they'll honk their horns, or they'll yell something at me. And I like to think that they go home and they tell somebody that they saw a guy struggling to walk around in his huge cardboard Halloween costume. And so there they are. Those are my internal set of rules that I use to decide on what to build for Halloween each year. I might no longer be religious, but at least I still have some commandments. Happy holidays.